Of the total sum of 9,120,334,988,225 naira only, of which 530,421,368,624 naira only is for statutory transfers, 2,203,835,365,699 naira is only for debt service, 3,512,677,902,077 naira only is for recurring non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 2,873,400,351,825 naira is for contribution to the development fund for capital expenditure for the financial year beginning from the day this bill is signed into law. This bill is read the third time and passed. Let me, distinguished colleagues, thank you all so much for particularly the relevant subcommittees and more importantly also the chairman of appropriation of the Senate and also the chairman of appropriation in the House committee, because I know this was a joint effort that was done. Let me, particularly for me, today is a very happy day for those of us who are from the medical profession, those serving and those who are not serving. I want, on behalf of all doctors, practicing doctors, not native doctors, all doctors, to thank the entire National Assembly for these 1% of budget towards primary health care provision. These will go a long way in addressing our health issues. As we all know today, Nigeria accounts for 10% of the world maternal mortality, 9% for child, and about 8% for infant mortality. This is not where we should be as a country. And I think what we have done today in these chambers and also similar in the House is to open a new page that enables our people to be much healthier and much stronger. So I want to thank all my colleagues for this support. A lot has been said on the areas of how we could have passed the budget earlier, and I think there's definitely room for improvement in the area of cooperation and collaboration between the executive and legislative arm of government. As you all know, there are lots, at least 50% of capital expenditure of ministries, some of them up to end of February, still had not done the defense. I think this is an area that we must work on the two arms of government. Let me also comment on some of the wrong impressions regards the issue of the increase in the aggregate expenditure. As well highlighted by the chairman of appropriations, this has been brought about a close working relationship between the executive and the National Assembly, as sometimes this was not properly explained and reported since yesterday, where both the executive and the legislature have seen areas of where there's need for intervention. We've heard the chairman of Works telling us need for making sure there's equitable distribution of road projects, which have accounted for a significant amount. Power project intervention also. And today also, if we're not talking about intervention, this issue of this health that we talked about today will not have been possible. So this is part of the things that sometimes need to be done in order for the best interest of the country. Let me also, an area that we will not address, which is the issue of fuel subsidy. I really make an appeal again that this executive needs to look into this for the interest of transparency, where an expenditure close to about 1 trillion must be captured in the budget. And we want, when the supplementary comes, the executive to do something about this area. It's an important issue, and I believe we must address. Let me also, because in doing that also, we must appreciate now that the crude oil price is close to 80. A lot of Nigerians are expecting to see our excess crude reserve account to be on the rise. But if money is being used for subsidy, at the end of the day, we will have it difficult to explain. That is why it's important that we capture this subsidy into the budget. On that note also, I want to emphasize the point of the issue of oversight and the issue of also ensuring that this amount that we have put in the budget, that there is successful implementation. But be that as it may, we must definitely commend, I know the comments of the minority leader, that we have seen significant high percentage of capital expenditure in this 2017, and we hope that that will lay a good foundation for 2018. But since 2017-18 is likely as an election year, I think a lot of work is expected of us to do proper oversight, because some of the heads, the ministers, might not have as much time as before. And if we're not careful, then those in charge might abuse those areas. So a lot needs to be done from us. But by and large, let me, as I say, hope that we will all work together to see the full implementation of this budget, and commend everybody for your efforts in making this work. And lastly, we had requested our committee on BPP to do a special project and go and investigate. I think this area still keep coming back. The delay and bottleneck that is happening in the Bureau of Public Procurement. And this is something that we really need to address frontally. I will again make that our chairman is not here of BPP to must go and give us a comprehensive report on how we need to address. I don't think BPP was set up to be an alternate authorizing agency for ministries. It's just to ensure compliance. But what we're seeing now is that the entire process gets to BPP and is started all over again, and that is why it's taking many months, and that is causing delay in implementation. So I think this is an area that we need to work closely with the executive to ensure that it does not hinder proper implementation in 2018. On this note, my distinguished colleagues, let me all thank you for all your work in this area.